Yo, what's up? Today I want to talk about confidence. Something that a lot of people struggle with. It's something that could be the thing that changes your life versus the thing that holds you back. You know, sports, you know, talking to a girl or a guy, presentations, entertainment, whatever. We're gonna need this thing called confidence. One thing that I want to express to you guys and tell you guys is that I've learned that there's three levels, and majority of people are just stuck in the first. The first level is keeping so many people away from their dreams, so many people away from pursuing what they actually want to, and it's not good. We got to work on it as a whole, as a collective, because I see so many people, myself included, for a period of time where we're afraid to go after what we want because we lack that confidence. And let's get into it. So, the first level, this is what we call shaky confidence. And the reason we call it shaky is because it's up and it's down. It's dependent on external circumstances. Meaning, I play sports, I'm a basketball guy. If I come into the game, I got my nerves, whatever. If I start doing well, I'm confident. But the second I stop not doing well, I lose all my confidence. It's a roller coaster. It's an uphill battle. It's dependent on things outside of you. So, majority of people are in this level. We let life and the outside dictate how we feel instead of just, focusing on the things that we can't control. And again, number one, that's shaky. Now, for the second level. The second level we have is stable. So we go from shaky to stable. Stable is the confidence that is internal. It's dependent on action. One thing that we remember at this level is you feel the fear and you do it anyway, right? So many times people who think that they lack confidence can look at someone who they think has confidence and be like, man, like, does this guy not have butterflies, or does this person not get nervous or have, any anxiety? But the truth is, that's not it. The reality of it is we all feel the same things, but when you get to that level of stable confidence, you feel those feelings and you do it anyway, right? It's not dependent on, going back to the basketball analogy, it's not dependent on me making or missing shots. It's depending on me knowing who I am and focusing on the things that I can't control. There's four pillars of that. We have your focus, your attitude, taking action and confidence, and one more, but I forget. But mainly those three, and if you can control those, every time you do something that is making you scared or making you lack confidence, it will change the way you approach life. Because now, instead of worrying about what people are going to think when you post that video, if you're scared to, you're just going to think, just focus on what I need to control, and then the rest will take care of itself. So many people struggle with this, and the goal is to get from stable to shaky to stable, so that we can enter this place where we can rep it out enough to get to that third level. Now we got the third level, the final boss, man. This is what we call supreme confidence. Now, we got the first level, shaky, dependent on the external, right? And then we got stable, which is dependent on the internal. Supreme is when you rep out that stable internal confidence so much that you enter into that flow state, right? How many times have you been doing something and you just felt like you were in the zone? Like you're doing a workout, or maybe you're doing some homework or studying, and you just flowing. That's how you get to that level, because you become so confident that you become more present that everything just becomes more efficient, right? We know who we are. We know that if we fail, we're not going to depend on the outcomes to determine who we are. So when we just rep it out, all that stable confidence, knowing who we are, we hit certain points where we hit that supreme confidence more often. Because the thing about supreme confidence is it's not something that you can just automatically tap into. It comes after so many repetitions of that stable internal confidence, and it's something that we all strive for, right? We all want to be the most efficient and the best for that we can possibly be in whatever we're doing. Again, bringing it back to basketball, when you get to that level, when you're repping out that level 2, and then there's certain points where you stop even thinking, like time slows down. And when time slows down, because you're so much in the present moment, it's like a tsunami and you're just standing in the middle. So all your shots are going in, you're making reads off the snap of a finger. Your instincts are really kicked in super high, and this is the level that we all want to attain. And then we can even bring it to social environments. Say I'm a nervous guy and I want to go talk to that cute girl or whatever. I can turn into that stable confidence over and over again, where I go up to her, and then it gets to the point where now we're talking and I'm not even thinking. Whatever's just coming, we're just flowing. It's like a dance, right? And that's where we want to get to. We want to get to the point where our confidence in whatever we're doing, so much chaotic stuff is going on around us, and we're just the eye of the storm. We're just still, we're present, we're here. We're not worried about the outside. And then doing that will become more efficient in everything that we do. So I came up with this monologue right here. Check it out. You just don't get it. I'm so sick and tired of all you guys acting like you guys understand me. You don't know what it's like to be confident in yourself, to question your every move, to not believe anything with conviction. You get to walk around with all the confidence in the world. You get everything you want. The accolades, the girls, everything. But me, I struggle, man. I've never been sure of myself. Never even knew how to build confidence. So stop talking to me like it's just easy. Like it's just some switch you can flip and then one day I'm just the most confident person in the world. It doesn't work like that. I wish I could be like you. I wish I could wake up and not have to overthink every move. I'm willing to work on it, but just give me time. Stop rushing me. I just want to get better at my own pace. I get it. You talk about these levels of confidence and all this focusing on yourself. Well, maybe if you let me focus on myself in my own race, I'll get there. People calling me nerd. One day, they're gonna regret it. Because even though it's hard, I know that I'm gonna be the most confident person in the world. I don't know when, I don't know how, but I'm willing to try. Just stop talking to me like it's just a snap of a finger. It isn't. Let me build at my own pace. I'm gonna have to work on every single aspect of my life for this. So this identity of me not being able to look at myself as someone who's up to par can disappear. And I don't mean to be upset at you, but it just sucks because I really want to be like you. I'll get there at my own pace. I promise. So the reason I wanted to make this video about confidence is because I can relate, right? You know, growing up, that's something that I always struggled with, especially being an athlete. You know, just to tell you guys a little bit about me, I've had 4 major surgeries. I've had 2 ACLs, an Achilles, and a meniscus. And right after high school, that was when I was dealing with my meniscus issues. I didn't have one of my ACL or Achilles surgeries at the time yet. But, you know, I was a pretty solid basketball player. And then I just kept getting injured, man. Like, I was injury prone and, you know, my body just wouldn't hold up. So it affected so much of my confidence, you know, not being able to perform to my highest level due to my injuries or whatever. So one thing I was really focused on was getting that confidence, right? I was trying everything in the book. You know, I even went and saw a sports psychologist because I was struggling so much with performance anxiety. And that's when I learned about these 3 pillars. You know, I learned that shaky confidence is the main one, and that so many people are at that level. You know, we let the external dictate, you know, how we're going to feel or how we're going to perform. And that's where I was for the longest time, you know, because I was overthinking, you know, the injuries or whatever. I would get into a game and I wouldn't be able to perform. And then for me, for a good period of my life, what also added on to that was that sports was my identity, right? Like, if I didn't play well in a game, it was like my life was over, you know? And we put so much pressure on ourselves. And then again, that's that external things that I'm talking about, is we put so much pressure on ourselves that we make it so hard to perform efficiently. You can't be the calm of the storm if you're also in the storm, right? So I just learned to slowly rep it out, slowly, just to get into the game and just focus on the things that I can control. Just playing really hard, being in the present moment, trying to stay focused for as long as possible, taking confident action, right? That's a huge one when it comes to this. Is the only way you're going to be able to gain confidence is to rep out confidence. And sometimes you got to be delusional about it, right? You got to be able to say, you know what, I don't feel confident, but I'm going to act as if I'm the most confident person in the world. You know, after the sports thing, you know, I started gaining more confidence. Then I got into acting. You know, acting, that was like a huge step for me, right? You know, I grew up really introverted, really quiet kid, really to myself. So being able to put myself out there in a class full of 20 people doing the craziest, goofiest stuff. And the cool thing about acting in the entertainment world is that everybody's an artist. So they're not judging you when you go out there and do something where you think you look stupid. So it just reinforced the belief in me that, you know, the external really doesn't matter, because when you stop caring about who's watching, you stop caring about, you know, who's going to say what about you, you can perform, you can be efficient, and you can be the eye of the storm. So I challenge everyone to go from shaky confidence to stable in everything that you do. If you want to start posting content, look at me. Just start it. Just get out there and do it. Who cares what everyone else is going to think? If you're an athlete and you struggle with, that confidence of having to perform well all the time, let it go. Results aren't always in your control. When you're playing a sport, you can never tell yourself exactly how the game is going to go. Like before the game, you can never be like, okay, I'm going to be the point guard. I'm going to bring up, I'm going to hit 2 shots on the elbow. I'm going to hit 2 shots in the corner. I'm going to hit 2 shots up top. It never goes like that because you don't know what type of defense they're going to run, if they're going to full court press you. There's so many different variables of things that change throughout the course of a basketball game. So you have to rely on your instinct. And to be able to rely on your instinct, you have to trust that work and trust who you are. So again, challenge yourself. Do that thing that you've been wanting to do, but you've been putting off. It will change your life, and it will make you a more fulfilled person, knowing that you told yourself you're going to do something that's uncomfortable and you get it done. So become the eye of the storm. Stay calm while everything around you is crazy, and let's get to that supreme level of confidence. See you soon.